Hello audience, I am Muhammad Imran Hussain, the group leader of the Globetrotters Group. Thank you Mr. Tanvir Ahmed Sir, arrange a video presentation and give us an opportunity to deliver our speech. Today's our presentation topic title is Natural Disaster Create Crisis on Tourism Industries. In this presentation, we will try to reveal a common issue in today's world, which is the crisis in the tourism industry due to natural disasters. I would like to request all of audience to stay with us at the end of this video presentation.
Assalamu alaikum sir. This is Janatul Firdaus Papri and my ID is 09F. From Globetrotters Groups, today we represent natural disaster create crisis on tourism industries and I represent introduction and types of natural disaster. What is natural disaster? A natural disaster is a catastrophic event that occurs as a result of any natural phenomenon on earth. This can range from floods and hurricanes to tsunamis and earthquakes. As we see, Earth in its 4.54 billion year history has seen many natural disasters. Tourist experiences can be an unexpected factor, however, changes in the economy. Tourism is exposed and vulnerable to various types of hazards, and disasters have the potential to deter visitors from traveling to affected destinations. Tourism companies sell the Asian nature because Asia is a country rich in different cultures, which makes traveling there so interesting. In the last 20 years, global losses due to natural disasters have increased, whereas mortality rates are considerably higher in low-income countries. Recent examples from the past include the Indian Ocean earthquake and tsunami Haiti earthquakes in 2004 or 2010 stand as clear examples of how catastrophic that can be such a natural disaster. Thousands of residents and tourists have died in such incidents or seriously injured and millions affected. Natural disaster events reduce overall arrival international tourists. The tourist will consider other tourist destination options are those that maximize their utility from tourism activities. Next one is Bangladesh. Due to its unique geographical location, is often subjected to devastating tropical cyclones. The funnel-shaped northern part of the Bay of Bengal amplifies the storm surge of landfalling tropical cyclones affecting thousands of people. Hotels, restaurants, and other travel business claim that the tsunami and aftershock did not have a long-term impact on bookings and travel to Phuket on Thailand, but on source reported a 20% drop in tourism. In 2015, there was a 7.8 magnitude earthquake and aftershocks. More than 9,000 people were killed and 22,000 injured in Nepal, resulting in a total economic loss of $5 billion. According to the World Travel and Tourism Council, tourism accounts for about 10% of Nepal's GDP. Next one is Sri Lanka, because Sri Lanka's fourth largest industry. Sri Lanka has been the worst affected in southern region. It has hard to see the tourists smiling and enjoying themselves, and they felt restless because many workers lost their homes, families, and positions in the tsunami. The Ministry of Tourism has launched a $6 million marketing campaign to lure return visitors to the island, but the strategy has had only limited success. About 8 million people in Sri Lanka are directly or indirectly dependent on tourism industries. Hotels across the country are at an average of 20% capacity. Going on, even thought that 80% of them were untouched by the disaster. There we noticed some job loss, crop damage, mental health struggles, and financial insecurity from this disaster. And as we stated that the World Bank and United Nations 2002, serious damage, job losses, delay transport, divert government funding away from tourism, and negative impacts. Tourism plays an important economic role in these countries, but some physical barriers to travel from SGSS, such as damaged infrastructure, transportation delays, business closure more negatively impact tourism arrivals. Since the tsunami hit, many tourists have been apprehensive about traveling to this part of the world, as we have been noticing lately that our country's temperature are rising day by day. An incredible warm summer has caused glaciers to release massive amounts of water. So, an incredible warm summer has caused glaciers to release massive amounts of water, a combination of unusual heavy storms that can produce 2 months worth of rain in these 3 days. As a result, rivers will burst their banks, villages will be submerged, and roads and railways will be destroyed. Next topic is types of natural disaster. There are mentioned some disaster names: tsunami, snowfall, tornado, cyclone, drought, heat wave, bushfires, earthquake, flood, landslide, volcano, storm, blizzard, and thunderstorm. As about this, I have already said. Rest of my members will discuss in more detail.
Hello audience, I am Mohammad Imran Hussain. My MB ID is 110M. Thank you Mr. Tanvir Sir arrange a video presentation and give me an opportunity to deliver my speech. Now I am discuss about four terms. First of all, tsunami create crisis on the tourism industry. Tsunami is a natural disaster which destroyed all kinds of infrastructure, lives, and facilities, including tourism industry. Bangladesh has faced only two tsunamis since 1762. One is happened 1762 and another one is happened after independence of Bangladesh at 2004. The strongest tidal wave registered in Bangladesh so far, reaching a high height of 2.4 meters on 26th December 2004. This tsunami killed a total of 2 people. The biggest impact in terms of lives, injuries, destroyed homes, and the economy had been a tsunami on 26th December 2004. This tsunami creates an impact to the all Southeast Asian countries' tourism industries, including Bangladesh. It creates some crises which are given will. The increase in case caused panic and fear for the public and tourists to visit tourist destination. Bangladesh government reduced the all kind of tourist visitors and local people from the tsunami affected areas. After tsunami affected a long time, these areas are prohibited for the tsunami practice because of infrastructure development and reform of these areas. Decrease the international tourist arrival number, destroy the local infrastructure of tourism. Domestic tourists appear to visit any tsunami affected areas. Entering road and communication channel are destroyed. Visiting cost increase. Negative impact is shown the overall economy and overall system. My second topic is snowfall create crisis on the tourism industry. Snowfall is not a fact for Bangladesh. Bangladesh is a country which is not winter-based country and never faced any snowfall. Snowfall is a fact for winter-based countries like European, American countries. Snow area of winter-based countries are popular tourist destinations. A huge number of tourists are visiting snow area in every season. Every snowfall is a natural disaster created some crisis which are over snowfall is increased the coldness of area which is reason of tourist death. When snowfall duration is long time, it creates a hassle for tourists. They cannot leave from these areas. Snowfall is blocking the transportation systems which increase the length of stay of tourists. It also creates the cost increase of tourists. Sometimes snowfall is creating food crisis on the area. Potential tourist is afraid to visit the snowfall affected areas. My third point is tornado create crisis on the tourism industry. Bangladesh has faced numerous times of tornado attack on 1st April 1972. A BCS tornado struck northern Bangladesh, killing at least 200 people. A 24 km by 1.6 km area was wiped clean. Trees were carried for a mile. Innumerable houses were blown away, leaving to no trace. Fulbaria, a town just southwest of Moymenshing, a dead village. In one of the worst tornado tragedies to hit Bangladesh, 61 people were killed in the Manikganj subdivision of Dhaka district on 17th April 1973. In Baluchar, not a single dwelling was traceable. This village was completely leveled. Almost all houses were leveled in the 8 villages along the Kaligonga River. 1st April 1977, a tornado struck Madaripur and Shipchor and killed 500 people. In the 26th April 1989, another tornado was happened. This was possible the deadliest tornadoes on record in the world. This tornado moved east and eventually northeast from Daulatpur to Shaturia. The path was 13 km long and 1.6 km wide. The affected area had been in a 6-month severe drought prior to the tornado. All houses in a 6 square kilometer area were completely destroyed. Thousands of trees were uprooted and blown away. The last tornado of Bangladesh history was 13th May 1996 tornado. This was certainly one of the most devastating tornadic storms ever to strike Bangladesh. Over 700 people were killed. Hail the size of softballs pummeled the affected area. This was a family of tornadoes that moved to the southeast at 45 km/h for 18 km. The Tangail district was the hardest hit. This all kind of tornado are made some crisis for Bangladesh, which are decrease international and domestic tourist numbers, damage infrastructure of tourism industries, transportation facilities were destroyed. International tourist is feeling fear to visit Bangladesh after this kind tornado attack. Tourism investors are feeling uncomfortable to invest Bangladesh tourism sector. Government reduced the all kind of tourists from this place when tornado was attacked. My last point is cyclone create crisis on the tourism industry. Cyclone is the common form of Bangladesh chapter. Every year Bangladesh has faced some small or large cyclone. Some latest example of cyclone which are attacked Bangladesh recent years like Mocha, Sitarang, Jawad, Golab, Yash, Mohsin and Aila. Cyclone create an instant crisis on our tourism industry. Some crises are given below. Temporarily block tourism area, make emergency situation to reduce the tourist from the tourist destination, suddenly block the transportation facilities to the tourist destinations. Sometimes the tourist and the destination face the electricity crisis. Some tourists are afraid for the immediate. For short time tourists are facing lack of amenities.
Hello everyone, this is Protoy Shaha here, ID 26M. First of all, I would like to thank Mr. Tanvir Sir for this video presentation initiative. In this section, I will discuss about some natural disaster that heavily responsible for tourism crisis all over the world. So without any further delay, let's jump into the next part of our discussion. In the beginning, my group member already told about drought. For the recall, I would like to say that it is a natural phenomenon which create intense water shortage. So as you can see, my first topic is drought create crisis on the tourism industry, and I already told about the drought. So before look at the tourism part, let's see some data about drought of world crisis which I have found in my research. Here, according to a new report of United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification in 2022, since 2000, the number and duration of drought has risen 29%. And in 2022, more than 2.3 billion people face water stress. Almost 160 million children are exposed to severe and prolonged droughts. So these numbers are enough to give us an idea about drought in the world. In my research, I have found in Africa, drought pose a high risk. So let's have some example. Here, first example is Africa's Victoria Falls. In this picture, we have a clear comparison between January 2019 and December 2019. In January, the falls is full over the water, and in December, we clearly see the droughts. So Victoria Falls is one of the most popular tourist destination in Africa. With a width of 1.7 km and height of roughly 108 meters, it has been reduced to a trickle due to a severe droughts in the Southern African region since October 2018. So 2018 is the year when Victoria Falls start to facing the droughts. In 2019, drought has driven the water flow at Africa's Victoria Falls to its lowest level in almost 25 years. So, in 2019, Victoria Falls at the lowest level in 25 years. In recent report in 2022, decline of water reduced visitor numbers by 25%. By this number, we can easily get a view about drought, that how it affect the tourism. The next example is Cape Town. Cape Town of South Africa, with some most unique feature in the world. In 2018, Cape Town was on the brink of become the first major city in the world to run out of water. And the drought caused widespread water restriction. Even it make the difficulties for the business and tourism operators to function. So obviously, if the tourism operators and businesses can't run properly in any destination, the tourism industry fall. It is obvious, right? So as a result, that tourism to Cape Town declined by 20% in 2018, and the tourism industry lost an estimated 1 billion US dollar, which is a huge number. Here, some crises of the drought on tourism industry can be summarized. Number one is reduced availability of activities. See, drought can lead the closure of popular tourist attraction like swimming, hiking. Even if a destination is in drought area, obviously there is no water, so swimming, the activities like swimming should is reduced for the tourist. Then increased risk of wildfires. Drought can increase the risk of wildfires, which can make it dangerous for tourists to visit certain areas. Then poorer water quality. Drought can lead the poorer water quality, which can increase the risk of waterborne disease, because there is no raining for a long time, so the water quality become poorer. Then higher price. Drought can lead to higher prices for food, water, and other essential goods and services. This can make it more expensive for tourists to travel and can discourage some people from visiting certain areas. In the next part, bushfire create crisis on the tourism industry. See, bushfire is another natural disaster which cause crisis in the tourism industry, and bushfire can be started by natural causes such as lightning strike or by people. So let's have some example. Australia. Bushfire are frequent occurrence in Australia because of its continents generally hot and dry, and Australia is the most fire-prone country on earth. In 2020, Australia experienced a devastating bushfire season that destroyed millions of acres of land and killed over 30 people. So it is obvious a destination which killed 30 people, so tourists have less interest to visit that area once again. For that, 10% dropped in the number of hotel guests in Sydney in December. 15 to 20% decline of tourists wanting to climb the Sydney Harbour Bridge, and 50% from last year, means 50,000 fewer visitors to mountain scenic world has lost their interest. So in this we can easily see how bushfire affect the Australia tourism. Next, the California. See, climate change, wind, and overgrown forest are some reasons of bushfire in California. The fires destroyed thousands of homes and businesses and forced to evacuation of millions of people. And now, when a disaster forces people to evacuate from any destination, it is obvious tourism will declining. So as a result here, tourism to California declined by 5% in 2018. So there are some crises of the bushfire on tourism industry can be summarized. Number one is economic damage. The Australia bushfire may cost the tourism industry 4.5 billion as Americans, Chinese, British and other holidays stop traveling there. Then less tourist arrival. Holiday cancellation from key markets including the US, Britain and China have flowed in according to peak industry body. Air pollution. It is obvious that fire embers and the smoke of the fire pollute the air, which may affect the tourist. Then health safety concern. Toxic fumes and heavy smoke produced from bushfires can impair vision and impact on air quality and create difficulties in breathing. People need to stay inside during the bushfire to be healthy because this smoke can be life taking. So, why tourists travel that place? This is obvious because if they have to stay inside during their visitation, they why should they visit there, right? In the third part, it is heat wave. Heat wave create crisis on the tourism industry. Panu Saristo, who is IFRC's emergency health team leader for Europe, once said heat wave are really an invisible killer. From the research I have found, a number of destinations across the United States, Europe, and Asia have become significantly impacted by global temperature. Temperature in Death Valley reached 128 Fahrenheit on 19th July 2023, which is a huge number in the temperature. Then in Europe, health warnings have been issued by officials in countries such as Italy and France due to extreme weather. Let's have some example. Greece 2022. In Greece, July 2022 caused temperature to over 40 degrees Celsius, which obviously result to decline the tourism by 15% in July 2022. Next part is India. See, a heat wave in India in May 2019 caused temperature to soar to over 50 degrees Celsius, and this is obvious when the temperature of any destination is above 50 degrees Celsius. So ask to yourself, will you visit there? From my side, I'll definitely never visit there in this temperature. So as this result, tourism to India declined by 5% in May 2019. In 2021, India and Pakistan experienced a devastating heat wave that killed over 1200 people. So this is also obvious when people are killed by temperature in any destination, the tourism will decline heavily because here both countries lose tourists by 30% in India and 40% in Pakistan. So there are some crises of heat wave on tourism industry that can be summarized. Death report number 1. Death report. Due to heavy heat, several news have come to tourists got heart attack, skin burn problem in some tourist destination, which create less tourist arrival in that place. Number 2 is environmental concerns. Prolonged heat wave can contribute to environmental challenges such as drought, wildfires, and water shortage. And these conditions can further disrupt travel plans and lead to closure to tourist attraction. Number 3 is changing destination. So due to overheat, tourists exchange their travel plan with a cooler place. So cancellation has been occurred. Then loss of tourism attraction. Heat waves can make it difficult or impossible to enjoy certain tourist attractions like beaches, national park, and outdoor events. So this can make it difficult for tourists to find things to do in affected areas and can lead to a decline in visitation. So at last, I have to say, natural disasters heavily affect the tourism industry. So that's all from my side. I would like to invite my next group member for further discussion on this interesting topic. Thank you very much for being with me.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. I am Azmir Hussain Raihan and my ID is ASH2221 MBA 118M. There is a lot of natural disaster create crisis on tourism industry. We know that tourism is an impactful industry. The crisis can create a huge impact on tourism. I am going to discuss about 4 types of crisis. My group member will discuss about other type of crisis, natural disaster. So now I am going to discuss about earthquake. Here is image picture about earthquake. You can see here UNESCO heritage site damaged in Philippines quake. It's a 7 magnitude earthquake. It destroyed the pagan city. It's a wonderful destination. It was a wonderful destination. Now I am going to discuss about crisis for earthquake. That means which type of crisis arises: infrastructure damage, safety concern, reputation damage. Infrastructure damage means earthquake means anything can happen with infrastructure, like transportation of network can be damaged, hotel, attraction, public facilities can be difficult for tourists to access. Safety concern, tourists will not go there to know about the concern of earthquake, because anything can be happen due to earthquake. Reputation damage, we know that media cover the news about earthquake. It creates a negative impact on tourism industry. That means anyone will not come here, visitors will not come here to visit the place, because there should be a risk of earthquake. Now I'm going to discuss about flood, how flood create crisis on tourism industry. Here is an image to take idea, to know about the idea. That means Kerala flood. In tourism, Kerala is starting at a 4 to 5% decline in footfalls in tourism sectors. That means use that means sector tourism said it is a use that means how it can happen. Now I am going to discuss crisis for flood. That means it is like same look like earthquake. Infrastructure disruption, that means flood can damage road, bridges, other infrastructure, hindering tourist ability to move around the area. Property damage, it also can damage the property like hotel, restaurants, tourism related businesses. Look like earthquake also destroy, damage the property. So health and safety concern, it is also it is a major concern. Flood can lead to a airborne decrease in health risk, deterring tourists from visiting. Visitors will not come for health and safety concerns. It is a major problem. That means flood is a major is also a major problem which create crisis in tourism industry. Landslides create crisis. Landslides also create crisis on tourism industry. There is image of Himachal. We can see that a landslide causes major damage of the road. It's a very risky for tourism industry. As usual, here is a crisis for landslide. That means accessibility issue. Anyone can go there. The transportation route can be disrupted, making it is challenging to go there for tourists. Tourists will not go there easily because the road can be blocked. Attraction closure, that means attraction can be destroyed. Also look like all the crises look like same because all are natural disasters. Natural disaster and their have their characteristics are same, so their crises are also same. Look like that means perception of risk. Also another major problem. That means risk, perception of risk. Tourists might have perceived landslide. They think that it's unsafe for them to go there. Another one is volcanic eruption. Volcanic eruption create crisis on tourism industry. It is also very harmful for health. There is a side effect for health, and the health side effect of volcanic eruption. That means there is an image of volcanic eruption, a fire, anything, volcano smoke. It can dangerous side effect of volcanoes. There is a dangerous side effect. A crisis. There is also some crisis I can describe. Air travel disruption, evacuation, environmental impact, also health impact for health. That means harmful for health. Air travel disruption means aeroplane can't go over the volcanic eruption area. Flight can be cancelled because of this, because aeroplane route are fixed. Maybe evacuation. It's also major, all are major problem, major crisis. It can create crisis for tourism industry, decrease revenue from tourism, um, uh, decrease GDP, world GDP for this industry. Uh, Evacuation, that means eruption related evacuation can disrupt travel plans and create a sense of instability, deterring tourists. It's also a concern. Environmental impact, lava flows, ashfall, and toxic gases can damage landscape, attraction, infrastructure, also affect the health, tourist health, also affecting the overall tourist experience. That's all. I described, I covered my topic. So thank you.
Assalamu alaikum sir, this is Abdul Hai. Thank you so much for giving me opportunity to say something about the topics. Today I am discussing also some types of natural disaster. At first I would like to discuss the crisis of storm in tourism. Storm can have a significant impact on tourism both in short term and long term. In short term, we can say storm can cause cancellation and delay of flight and other transportation, which making it difficult for tourists to reach their destination. We can say storm can also damage infrastructure such as road, bridge and airport, making it unsafe and difficult for travel. Besides this, storm can cause power outage, water shortage and other disruption which make it difficult for tourists to enjoy their vacation. In the long term, storm can damage natural attractions such as beaches, coral reef and forest. This can make this destination less appealing to tourists and can lead to a decline in tourism revenue. In addition, we can say storm can create a negative perception of destination, making people less likely to visit in the future. For example, we saw in 2017, Hurricane Irma caused widespread damage in the Caribbean, including the popular tourist destination of Puerto Rico. The storm caused billions of dollars in damage and it took a lot of months for the destination to recover. Tourism in the Caribbean declined significantly in the months following the storm and it is still recovering today. The next topics of mine is the crisis of blizzards in tourism. Blizzards can also disrupt travel and make it difficult or impossible for tourists to reach their destination, such as cancellation, delay, which makes lost revenue for tourism in business. Besides this, in extreme cases, blizzards can even cause injuries of death. The overall impact of blizzards on tourism depends on a number of factors, such as severity of storm, the location of the affected area and the time of the year. In general, blizzards are more likely to have a negative impact on tourism in the winter month, when the travel is already more difficult. Here we saw some specific example of blizzards which can affect tourism very badly. In 2016, a blizzard in Japan stranded thousands of tourists and forced the closure of many ski resorts. The storm is estimated to have cost around $2 billion of loss in the tourism industry. Besides this, in 2017, a blizzard in Europe caused travel chaos and left millions of people without power. This storm in the tourism industry cost around $4 billion. The last topics of mine is the crisis of thunderstorm in tourism. Thunderstorm can cause damage to property and infrastructure, which can disrupt tourism. For example, we can say a severe thunderstorm can knock down power line, flooding roads and closing business, etc. Thunderstorm can also make it difficult for tourists to reach their destination and enjoy their vacation. For example, we can say for thunderstorm, flight and train service may be delayed or cancelled. Besides this, thunderstorm can also pose a safety hazard to tourists. particularly those who are caught outdoor. Lighting is a major cause of death and injury during thunderstorm, and strong wind can cause trees to fall and buildings to collapse. Because of this, the property and infrastructure can be damaged. In some cases, thunderstorm can have a positive impact too, such as we can say thunderstorm can create a dramatic and awe-inspiring natural spectacle that can attract tourists. For example, we can say storm chasing tourism is a popular activity in the United States, particularly in the Great Plains and Midwest. Besides this, thunderstorm can also create a sense of excitement and adventure, which can appeal to tourists looking for a unique experience. For example, we can say many tourists enjoy hiking or campaigning in this area where the thunderstorms are common. But as discussed in other cases, thunderstorm can have a negative impact too. So it is important for tourists to be aware of the risks associated with thunderstorm and take precaution to stay safety. These are the part of my discussion. Thank you so much, sir, for hearing me. That's all.
Assalamualaikum, sir. This is Salma Khanum Jenny, ID 130F. My previous group members already have discussed about various types of natural disaster. Now I will focus on how we manage the natural disaster based crisis. The first step we can take is pre-crisis preparedness. That means the measures we have to adopt before the actual crisis hit. So how can we do this? Mainly we can take 3 steps. First one is develop tailored disaster management plans. That means tourism stakeholders must develop comprehensive disaster management plans tailored to the specific risk faced by a destination. Then, second one is these plans should outline roles, responsibilities, communication channels, and evacuation procedures. Then, last one is collaborative efforts among government agencies, tourism boards, and local businesses can lead to the establishment of a crisis management team capable of making swift decisions in the event of a disaster. The second step is communication strategies. Timely and accurate communication is paramount during a crisis. Then, protocols for tourists, local communities, and authorities. That means destination must establish communication protocols to disseminate information to tourists, local communities, and relevant authorities. Then lastly, social media, official websites, and mobile applications can serve as effective platforms for delivering updates and safety instructions. Consistent and transparent communication helps build trust and ensures that accurate information reaches all stakeholders. Then, third step is crisis response. In the immediate aftermath of a natural disaster, a well-coordinated response is essential. So, coordinated evacuation plans and availability of emergency services. Then, destinations can set up temporary shelters, medical aid stations, and helplines to cater to the needs of affected individuals. Then, adequate training of tourism staff to handle crisis situations ensures that tourists receive the necessary support and guidance. Then, step 4 is recovery and rehabilitation. Once the immediate crisis is over, destinations enter the recovery phase. This involves assessing the extent of damage, rebuild infrastructure, and restoring essential services. Then, collaboration with relief organizations, non-governmental entities, and international agencies can expedite recovery efforts. Then, initiatives such as fundraising campaigns and volunteer programs can aid in the restoration of affected areas and promote community solidarity. Then, step 5 is long-term resilience. Building long-term resilience against future natural disasters requires sustained efforts. Investment in infrastructure that adheres to disaster resistant standards can minimize damage during future events. Diversity tourism offerings to reduce sector dependence. Diversification of tourism offerings can also reduce dependence on a single sector, ensuring that the destination remains economically viable even during crisis. Then, educational programs and workshops on disaster preparedness can enhance the capacity of local communities to respond effectively. The last step is case studies. Case studies of destinations that have effectively managed natural disaster based crises provide valuable insights. The 2011 earthquake and tsunami in Japan highlighted the importance of strict building codes, early warning systems, and community drills. In New Orleans post Hurricane Katrina, a comprehensive recovery plan was devised to revitalize the city's tourism industry, include investments in infrastructure, marketing campaigns, and cultural events. Okay. Now, conclusion. Effective management of crises arising from natural disasters is an indispensable component for upholding the sustainability and resilience of the tourism industry. As explored in this assignment, the profound repercussions of such crises on destinations, economies, and communities underscored the critical need for well-planned strategies. The multifaceted approach encompassing pre-crisis preparedness, communication strategies, crisis response recovery, and long-term resilience energy emerges as a comprehensive framework for tackling natural disaster-based challenges within the tourism sector. Establishing disaster management plans, collaborative crisis management teams, and transparent communication protocols form the bedrock of effective preparedness. Timely and accurate communication, especially through platforms like social media and official websites, aids in disseminating crucial information to tourist communities and authorities, fostering trust and coordination. Swift and coordinated crisis response involving evacuation plans, emergency services, and well-equipped temporary facilities. In essence, the dynamic interplay of proactive planning, swift response, collaborative efforts, and continuous adaptation underpins the effective management of natural disaster-based crises in the tourism industry. By embracing these strategies, destinations can minimize the impact of crisis, ensure the safety of both residents and visitors, and fortify their resilience against the unpredictable challenges posed by nature. That's all. Thank you, sir.